It's your favorite cousin, Deona Hustle from Hot 103 Jamz, Kansas City's #1 for that hip hop and that R&B. And this guest that I have today, oh man, when I load this up, just know it makes a lot of sense when you hear all this resume, this bag I'm gonna go through. She's an award-winning actress and artist, singer, songwriter, author, and dancer. Worked alongside Big Boy, Taraji P. Henson, Kate Hudson, Dwayne Wade, and more, and has appeared on the big screen, Glass Onion, Hidden Figures, Moonlight, just to name a few. And I mean, they've spent more than a decade of being successful in the entertainment industry. And not only that, I know I said earlier that they are a dancer, but nah, she don't just dance, she float. And of course, in her winning season and in her winning bag, just like the Kansas City Chiefs, which is, of course, her hometown, and my Sagittarius twin, Janelle Monáe. What's going on?
Wow, that was an award-winning intro.
I got to give you something. Come on, man. This bag, everything that you've accomplished and done thus far, we can't take that lightly.
Oh my goodness. And then your accent, you making me want to go home and get some Gates barbecue right now. Like you sound so much like my family. Like it's crazy. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. And, just making that intro. I was like, oh my God. Wow.
I appreciate you, taking the time. You got a lot of great things happening for you right now. So I'm just gonna hop straight into it. Congratulations on Float. My pep song to get into this interview was Float. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Wow.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that means a lot to me.
Yeah, I love the song, the lyrics, the way you come in. I just love the entire flow of it. And of course, we playing it back to back to back on.
Y'all playing it?
Oh yeah, come on now.
Thank you so much.
No way we can interview you and not be playing your song. And it's still, at the end of the day, a hot song. That would be backwards. So yeah, of course. And I know you mentioned before in some interviews that you were inspired by a little bit about Muhammad Ali, Mary Poppins, the Umbrella, and a couple of other elements. But I want you to maybe talk to us and talk us through how all of those elements just kind of came into Float.
Yeah. I mean, I have a big imagination, as y'all know. If you know me, Janelle from Kansas City, grew up always an artsy kid. But I think this one was super like internally inspired because I had to let some things go. I had to let a few things go. And as we all know, in order to float, you gotta remove some weight that's holding you down, or you're not gonna float to becoming your greatest self. And so that's really it. Being able to float to the greatest version of myself. And I that had to start with me. And I think, in the song, like, I used to let niggas get to me. I used to be my own enemy. I done had several epiphanies over some breakfast at Tiffany's. Like, that is autobiographical,
Wow.
like those are things that only I could deal with and do for myself, show up for myself in that way. And now that I'm on sort of the other side of things, my hope is that this song, if you're listening to it, you wanna start floating with us. If you ain't there yet, you wanting to get there.
Most definitely. Now that's real. And when you hear the lyrics, I can say, being on the outside of just being a listener and hearing the vibe of the song, and to hear you kind of just confirm that was real for you makes it even more special to the people that's listening to it. So I do appreciate the fact that that was something that when you were writing that and piecing it together, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just gonna make me a hit song because I'm Janelle Monáe. It's I'm putting this into something. I'm putting a little bit about me into this piece, and I mean that just makes people connect.
Yeah. It's interesting when you say a hit song. For me, it got to hit with me first. That's the hit. Did it hit with me? And everything else is a blessing, and to be thankful about it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Now you mentioned hit song because I mentioned it too. We both mentioned in the hit aspect. Now, when you are writing, creating, what type of environment do you need? How does that look like? Are you the type to hibernate and X everybody out when it comes to writing your music? How do you perform the best?
It depends. I mean, I have written projects or written full songs like by myself, engineering myself, and then I'll just let the producers that I've worked with and I trust hear it, and then have my engineer comp it together for me. but with this particular project, I took a different approach. And with this particular song, I took a different approach. Like my friends were hosting these parties um, called Everyday People Parties, and they throw them in New York, LA, Ghana, all over. And they didn't have a place to use during the pandemic because nobody wanted to have any sort of like parties because of the pandemic,
Right,
which is
right.
understandable. But my studio has like this outdoor space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, shit, y'all can come here.
That's what's up.
And it was kind of illegal, but it was safe because we were testing people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we made sure to test people and stuff like
Right.
that. And we had a small group of people. And when everybody got together, I was like, this is incredible. Like people from all over the world, all the Black people from different corners of the
Yeah.
world, from the continent to Atlanta to New York to LA to Jamaica, like all coming together. And I was like, these are the type of people I want to make music for. So
Mm-hmm.
what I would do is with a song like Float, I was like, okay, we're gonna work on Float. If we play this song and they now move into it, it's not gonna make the project.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I would do that with, you know, this song and other songs that I've written during that time frame. And when we played it, they didn't say it was my name. I was like, don't tell anybody it's me. I'm gonna
Right.
slip it to the DJ, play it, and I just want to see how people are acting.
Yeah.
And they were still dancing, and I was so happy. Then I saw some people shazamming, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying all that to say, for me, it does matter when I'm partying with the people like I want to party with, that I have music that works for that.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to contribute in that way. I
Yeah.
want to be able to like love it and not feel, you know, or I want to be able to share those moments with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
got really specific about the audience. I got really specific about, you know, how it was hitting. And if I had 2 drinks, am I still dancing to it?
Right.
Like if I'm
Yeah.
sober, am I still dancing to it? So
Mhm.
that's kind of how I created
Yeah.
this particular song too.
That's what's up. That's cool. You got to check the temperature. I think that's important because, you know, it might sound good to you. It might sound good to other people that's in a little circle, but to actually play it and just be like, we not going to disclose who this is or no,
Yeah.
we just going to see what it do. That was a
And
real
we're not
smart.
going and we ain't gonna over explain or explain. You
Uh-huh.
know, music is to be felt, it's a frequency.
Yeah.
And that's really it. And I'm okay with if everybody
Yeah.
doesn't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, that's real. Now I want to step outside the music real quick, and then I'm going to get into this fun game. We got to do this fun game because it got a
Hmm.
little bit of KCK, KC Mo into it, and you know how that goes. So we're gonna have to dive in.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
But before we get to the game, I know in a recent interview you spoke a little bit about moving with gratitude and being present. And
Hmm.
I just want to kind of dive into that a little bit more because I think specifically I say for myself being in my mid-20s, moving so much, you just kind of looking for what's next. And I know when you
Yeah.
talked about that, I was connecting. I'm like, showing up in the present is so important. So I just want to know, what did it
Hmm.
take for you to make that mindset shift?
Whew. It's a muscle,
Yeah.
honestly. You know, I'm a person that has spent a lot of time in the future.
Mhm. Yeah.
And also a person that spent a lot of time in the past.
Yeah.
And it's easy when people talk about your work from the past. They're like, oh, I love when you were this and when you did this. And you can get stuck in that.
Yeah.
And and I always told myself, I'm not going to rest on my laurels, rest on the stuff that I've done. And I want to really enjoy my time right here. I don't want to miss the moment to have to be, yeah, I don't want to miss right now trying
Thanks.
to think about what's next. And you just sort of have to train your mind to do that. It's not an easy thing because everybody's operating from a space of what's next, what's next. You know, you're in the
Yeah.
industry of what's next, what's next. And so for me, I I have to do that. I have to
Yeah.
do it for myself. I have to remind myself like this is really all you can bank on is right now. And yes, you have to plan for the future. You have to do some
Right.
things, but um, for the most part, being deliberate about that, like, and holding the people around you accountable too. Like, we need to stay present, we need to stay engaged. Most times, when people are so focused on the future, anxiety is
Mhm.
there. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, we got to do. And I'm like, that's not the energy. That's not the vibe. We floating
Yeah.
right now.
Wow.
It's going to flow. Like,
I'm gonna start mentioning that just in my conversations with people too stressed. I'm like, look, we just floating. Just chill.
right.
Just floating. I like it.
Exactly.
Well, all right,
Exactly. You get it.
Yeah, we're gonna switch into the fun pregame. So I do this thing called the hustle riddle and this pregame. So
Okay.
the first part of the pregame is just basically this or that question, super quick. And you don't have to think too, you just float through that thing. You feel me?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so KCK barbecue or KC Mo barbecue?
Oh, I'm 10th Street or 11th Street Gates Barbecue.
Okay.
Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Kansas. Look
Okay.
at me.
Okay. Would you rather sing or act?
That's like, would you rather talk or walk?
That's facts. It's ain't no okay. No, we're gonna keep going. You gonna say the same thing about this next question. Float or I like that?
Oh wow. Ooh. Well, I like float is like definitely, or I like that is in the DNA of float. So both. How
Both.
about that?
You'll go with both.
Yeah.
All right, last question on the pregame is would you rather, or you can say neither, would you rather take you a shot or light you one up?
Oh, both.
Both. Okay. Now the hustle riddle.
Dang.
Let's see, that was
Yeah,
good. That was cool. Okay,
yeah,
we
that
made
was
it
good.
pregame. Okay, so hustle riddle. Now this is super easy. I promise you. It's 4 different riddles, and each of the answers are names of your songs. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the
This
first
is funny.
one is,
Already.
all right. It's not a walk nor a glide. It's a
Float.
for sure. The
Is that
opposite.
right?
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
It's not a walk, it's not a glide. It's okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay. The opposite of I hate that.
I like that.
There we go. I definitely couldn't sing it like that. So I'm glad you did it. All right. If you want to meditate and relieve stress, you should do
Yoga. Let your booty do that yoga.
There we go.
Mm, mm.
All right. Last one. An acrobat walks on this when performing tricks.
Whether you're high or low, you gotta tip on the tightrope.
Hey, okay.
Tip on the tightrope.
Hey, you got them all right. So of course,
That's great. I like that game.
Yeah, I wasn't, I knew you was gonna get them all right. I wasn't even too worried about that.
I'd be
Now,
so embarrassed if I didn't.
well, that just mean your bag getting deeper and deeper. So that, we would have, trust me, we would have made a switch even if you got it wrong, it would have still been right. You ain't even got to worry about that. But I do want to wrap it up. I know we don't have tons of different time. Or we got to wrap it up right now. We might have to wrap it up. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to hop on a call. Of course, please, when you get a chance, stop in Kansas City. Of course, we would love to have you in the station. And I know you participated on the NBA Celeb All-Star game, and I typically throw a basketball tournament each year. And if you are free, I would love to have you in attendance on some level. We love your trash talking that you did. So
yes, I'm MVP wherever I go. So just call me when you calling the right one. Well, thank y'all. I love y'all so much. I cannot wait to come back home. Like I'm putting some stuff together. So I'll be there and I'll see you.
Love to hear it. All right. Thank you so much, and keep killing it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Most definitely.